Hi investor, welcome to the third Uncle Stock tutorial of our series, an in-depth analysis on how to analyze a stock. This tutorial will continue upon the previous tutorial, so I advise you to check our previous videos if you're new to Uncle Stock and haven't seen them yet. In this tutorial, you will learn how you can further analyze a stock using the fundamental overview, the fundamental details, and using different search methods. At the beginning of analysis, I always start out with the fundamental overview of the stock. In this overview, we can get a summary of the most important metrics concerning the stock price, the key fundamentals, the scores of the stock, and important ratios like the solvency and liquidity, income yield, cash flow yield, and profitability. On the right side of the screen, we can also see the latest news and articles of the stock. The first thing I always like to take a look at in the screen is the Uncle Stock score to get a general impression of the potential and price of the stock. Another useful score in this window I like to keep an eye on is the Piotrowski score. This score rates a company based upon 9 fundamental indicators to measure if the stock has growth potential. In other words, it measures if a stock is cheap in terms of price to book value. As always with Uncle Stock, the score or metric is shown in green if it's positive, red if it's negative, and white if the outcome of the metric lies in between. Another very important indicator of a company is the Abbott Yields relative to the enterprise value and its growth. We can instantly find this metric on the left side of the screen with the key fundamentals. This earnings yield compares the profit generated with the market valuation of the company. If you would like to know more about this metric, we can simply click on the metric to see all the specifics. As we can see, we are now looking in the Fundamental Details tab. Furthermore, we can see a small description of the metric, how it's calculated, what's considered to be good and bad for the metric, a graph, and specific long-term data. We can press the Show More button to find even more specific metrics and data. All the shown parameters are used to calculate this specific metric. So, if we see that the enterprise value relative to the EBIT yield has shrunk or grown in the recent years, we can find out why this has happened. In the example of Apple, we can see that the EBIT yield relative to the enterprise value has shrunk from 16.44 in 2011 to 13.61 in 2019. At first, this seems strange, because Apple's EBIT yield has risen from 34 billion in 2011 to nearly 70 billion in 2019. But we also see that the enterprise value has even risen faster, from nearly $300 billion to $1 trillion. In that regard, the Uncle Stock stock screener doesn't just show you the result of a metric, it shows you why it has happened and how it is evolving. If you would like to learn more about the enterprise value itself, we can simply press on the enterprise value to analyze the metric even further. But let's get back to the EBIT yield relative to the enterprise value. It is also possible to see the trailing, rolling and forward values, or in other words, the expected future values. In the other tabs, it is possible to get a quarter data and to benchmark the data with the industry median. In our previous example, we can see that the fundamental overview is a great way to dig deeper in the specific data and metrics of a stock. We can also directly use the selection tree to get the metrics or scores we're looking for. Let's say we are looking for the intrinsic value of the stock. We start with the company value of the stock in the decision tree and continue to intrinsic value. It is also important to notice that all the values are measured in the stock price currency. Apple is a company based in the United States of America, so all the values are measured in US dollars. The last metric we are going to investigate today is the price to common book value. As discussed before, alongside clicking on a metric to find more information and using the selection tree, we can search for a metric using the search box. As previously shown, we can take a look at the most recent information, and if we click on the Show More button, we can get even more data. We can also benchmark this metric with the industry median and the industry group median. So, that will be all for this tutorial on analyzing stocks with the Uncle Stock Screener. Hopefully, this tutorial was of good use to you and brought you a step closer to making the best investment decisions possible.